This podcast is part of the Listen Frederick Podcast Network. To learn more, visit listenfrederick.com.
The Fedora Files.
Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora, and I'm outside in nature with the cicadas and all the birds and all the glory, because I like to be outside when I can. But today I want to talk about something that I find very interesting, and I've done a couple shows previously about UFOs, and I talked about my experience, and Chip Stetson came on and talked about his experience, but I want to talk about the disclosure that's happening. Now, for over 50 years, people have been saying they've seen UFOs. They've this, that, and the government's like, bam, no, bam, no. Project Blue Book, they were disproving it, saying swamp gas, ball lightning, weather balloons, all kinds of stuff. They were saying everything they could to say there are no UFOs, there are no aliens, and so on and so forth. I mean, going back pre-World War II, there were people who were finding these things and saying they did not exist and were not real. You had the battle for Los Angeles during World War II, which they went from saying it was a UFO in the newspaper to no, it was the Japanese attacked us, to no, it was just a drill. And interesting, if it was a drill, why did they shoot off live rounds into the sky over a populated city? And even that, like, why, if it was Japan that attacked us, why is that not even talked about in history? Like, most people don't even know about Battle of Los Angeles. They're like, when they hear about it, they're like, what? That happened? Yeah, it did. There was a huge, it was like between 6 to 8 hour battle over Los Angeles of something. So either it was an 8-hour drill with live rounds, or it was Japan attacking us, or it was a UFO. And the photos of it, I don't know what it is. And the experience I had, I don't know what I saw. I don't know. I mean, I can't explain it. It was, to me, not a conventional aircraft of any kind. And yet, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if these are extraterrestrials, interdimensional. I don't know if it's demonic. I lean, like, I don't think they're friendly, because every person who's had, like, a quote-unquote interaction with alien life forms or these things, or had a close encounter. Mine was a more distant encounter, more I saw it, but I wasn't close. So close encounter people never seem to have good experiences. It's never good. They have horrifying stories, but I won't go into that. But what I find interesting now is that suddenly, after 70 some years of there's no UFOs, in 2020 we got our first military video of a UFO from the Navy. They had a interaction with this thing that was, they couldn't catch it. It was fast as lightning. It maneuvered. It was doing things. It was beyond anything they had dealt with, and that they were willing to admit to. And so then suddenly, whoa, the government's disclosing UFOs in 2020, in the middle of the COVID. And a lot of times people are like, well, maybe they're just trying to distract us from this whole COVID thing. Maybe, get us thinking about that, and then we'll be more, the government's telling us truth stuff, so maybe they're telling us truth about the vaccines and this. And I'm not conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying what was going on. I don't know. So fast forward now. Now they're actually having investigations on Capitol Hill, and these senators are using, like, terminology that I only ever heard, like, ufologists use. They're saying UAPs, which is unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is something only ufologists used to say. But now all these senators and all these talking heads on TV are using the terminology as if they've always thought this, and, like, we just want the truth. It's like, do you? I mean, you've had 70 years to give us the truth, but why now? What is going on now that they're suddenly giving us the truth? And the other thing I find fascinating is, like, the government's telling us all this, and people are just like, okay, yeah, UFOs, cool, UAPs, cool, whatever. but no one freaked out. Like, I'm kind of geeking out about it because I'm just like, what? Now they're finally saying this stuff is real. It's really out there. And they're having studies on it. They're scientifically studying it. They're trying to figure it out. What are they and all this stuff. And the average Joe is just like, okay, UFOs. This is a big deal, people. But my question is, why now is it being revealed, and why now are we talking about it? And I'm one of these. I'm not necessarily conspiracy. I love conspiracy theories, but I wonder, because what is it that they've been hiding UFOs for 70 years, saying not real, not real, not real, not real. They don't want us thinking about that. They want us looking over here. But now suddenly they're like, yeah, let's tell them about the UFOs. So what is it that they're trying to make us look at the UFOs for? What are they hiding back here? Like, I've grown to jaded and not trusting the entities so much. Now, if you have a chance to check out Sean, I think it's Sean White. He does a podcast, former Navy SEAL, really good show. He's had on Dr. Greer, who this is an interesting guy. This guy has some documentaries, but he's talking about 0 point energy, where basically it would do away with the carbon energy, it would do away with the green energy. This stuff leaves no footprint for those of you who are worried about the environment. And he's saying it's been around since the 1950s, maybe even earlier, and that they've been developing it. But big green energy and big oil has held it back because you can't make money off it, because it would free the average person up of energy costs. We wouldn't have to worry about the electric bill, gas bills, cars, airplanes. These things would be able to use this energy that is free. It's almost like Tesla, like what he was trying to do, give free energy, and people didn't want it. He was finding ways to emit energy without using conductors and wires and stuff. And the government shot him down and went with Einstein, or not Einstein, whatever, the guy who invented everything. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so they went a different route because they could control it better. They could charge for it. They could make money off it. And that's what this Greer guy is saying, that some of these UFOs are technology that like Lockheed has and Boeing has, and they're able to create these things and do these things, and they're testing them, but they're not allowed to unveil it to the world because government couldn't tax you on it. They couldn't charge you for it once it's out there, and that's what they want. They want to make money off you. But so if you can find Dr. Greer and watch some of his stuff, that's fascinating. Now, another fascinating thing is Mr. Fugel. I think that's Brandon Fugel. He owns Skinwalker Ranch. Now, before you jump on me at Skinwalkers, he was a skeptic until he had an experience at Skinwalker Ranch. It's an amazing and interesting series because I know it's a reality TV show, and there are some cheesy edits and stuff, but what they're talking about is legit and true and very interesting in that they are all real scientists. And you can look up these guys. They have PhDs. They have, and if you are one of these, like, follow the science, these are legit scientists with doctorates and multiple doctorates in physics and engineering and all this stuff. And they're studying this ranch that has had centuries of interesting and unique things happening on it. Like it was so much so that the Native Americans wouldn't live on the land because they were like, there's something weird here, and the white man can have it. They can do it. That's fine. You guys have a good time. And that's always a good lesson. If the Native Americans want you to have that land, you probably don't want it. So anyway, so he's been documenting the strange phenomenon that's gone on there, and they've seen UAPs again, unidentified aerial phenomenon. They've seen UFOs, which everybody knows, unidentified flying objects. It's the same thing. They've documented rises in radiation. They've documented bizarre interactions with GPS signals and phones and so on. So there's a lot happening, something ramping up. Stuff is ramping up crazily. And again, when the government is telling you about something, I just tend to think, what are they hiding now? And maybe I'm a crazy conspiracist. But one of the things is, like Dr. Greer is talking about, these having this energy and stuff. People who don't work for Boeing and stuff, who have developed it on their own and had these things, and we're trying to get patents on it. This is eerie. Like if you watch his interviews and hear him, a lot of these people, when they developed this thing and went for the patent to get it patented by the government, within a few months, these people died. Like car accident or heart attacks or different things. And we now know that, like, if you watch, there's a reporter who was anti-Russia a long time ago and died from radiation poisoning and ended up like heart disease and stuff, but he got shot in the leg with an umbrella gun. It was an umbrella guy just poked him and shot and put a little bit of radiation in it, killed him. But like, these people are just dying when they go and get the patents. So there's something going on, something crazy. And I've heard a lot of different people talking about it. Like I said, before I came to do this video, I was walking by, and the news, the anchors were all talking about UAPs. So using their language, and they had a senator on, UAP, I want to find the truth. It's like, dude, you've had years to find the truth. Why now? And why are you using words that you probably a year ago had no idea what that meant? Like a UAP, you got yup, UAP, what's a UAP? You know, that's probably what he did in his like little person that's like, dude, no, it's UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I've always wanted to know about those things, Dan. You just want to get on TV and have people think you care. You're working in DC, but the fact that it's on Capitol Hill, that should be mind-blowing to all of us. And it doesn't seem to be. It's mind-blowing to me. But is it to you? What do you think's going on? Why suddenly do you think they've decided that now is the time for disclosure? We're going to tell everyone about the UFOs. You know, let them know. What is it? And the thing is, if you believe Dr. Greer, it's man-made technology, and they know what it is. And there are some people out there going crazy, like, well, then what they're doing is they're trying to get us in line, and if we don't get in line, suddenly, you know, UFOs are going to start appearing. They're going to attack us, and then government's going to come save us, and then we're all going like, yay, government. And the government's going to be like, hey, you know what? You all need to get a chip in you, so that way if they try and steal you, we'll know where you are and what happened, and we can help you. So it's like all about control. And that's what a lot of people are going with. I don't know. I don't know if this is government. Is it real? Is the government just worried now? And they're like, hey, we got to let people know this so that when it happens, they can help stand behind us. I don't know where to fall on this. I just know something's going on. And I think you guys need to know and pay attention and read up, look at, see who's talking about UFOs now that suddenly we're not talking about them. A year ago, 2 years ago, they were like, whatever. Like, you know, why now? Why suddenly? What's going on? Pay attention, people. And as always, stay safe and keep searching.
The Fedora Files.
Check out FedoraCRT.com today.